Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right off the bat. When we talk about making love to a man, people's minds go straight to the bedroom. But that's where most folks mess it up. See, a man's heart and mind are connected to what happens in that bedroom. And if you miss the first two, the third ain't gonna be what you think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something people get wrong all the time. Making love to a man ain't just about what happens in the bedroom. Now, I know for some folks, that's the first thing they think about when they hear the phrase. They picture the candles, the music, the sheets pulled back, all that. But listen to me, if you start there, you're already late to the game. Because real intimacy, real love making, it starts way before two people ever touch each other. It's an emotional connection first, and if you skip that, everything else you do is just mechanics. And mechanics without meaning don't last. See, men might not say it out loud, most of us won't, but deep down, we want to feel something with the woman we're with. Yeah, the physical part matters, but let me explain something. If a man doesn't feel connected to you emotionally, the physical will only go so far. It's like trying to drive a car without gas. You can have the nicest rims, the best paint job, the loudest sound system, but if there's no fuel, you're not going anywhere. And for a man, emotional connection is that fuel. Now you might be thinking, Steve, men aren't emotional like women are. Let me tell you right now, that's a lie the world sold you. Men are just as emotional, we just hide it better. We've been trained since we were boys not to show too much, not to talk about our feelings, to keep it all in. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And when you're with a man, if you can tap into that part of him, the part that wants to be understood, accepted, appreciated, then you've got his attention in a way nobody else does. Making love starts in how you look at him when he's talking. It's in the way you listen without interrupting. In the way you remember the little details he shares with you. You think it doesn't matter when he mentions how he likes his coffee or the fact that he had a rough day last Tuesday. It matters because when you bring him that coffee just the way he likes it, or you check in on how he's doing after that bad day, he notices. That's connection. That's intimacy. And let's be clear, emotional connection ain't just about being nice. It's about making him feel safe enough to let his guard down. Most men walk through life with armor on. They've got it on at work, in the world, even around their friends sometimes. But when he's with you, if he feels like he can take that armor off and just be himself, flaws, fears, dreams, all of it, that's when you've got something special. Because the truth is, the deeper the emotional bond, the deeper the physical connection will be. I've seen relationships where the couple could barely talk to each other, but they thought as long as they kept the physical side going, everything would be fine. Guess what? It never lasts. The spark fizzles because there's no emotional fire underneath. On the other hand, I've seen couples who were so connected emotionally that you could feel it just being around them, and you know their physical connection off the charts. Why? Because when you feel safe, understood, and valued, your whole heart shows up. And when your heart's in it, your body follows. So, ladies, if you're trying to figure out how to really make love to a man, start by feeding that emotional bond. Be genuinely interested in his world. Learn what makes him light up, what makes him feel proud, what makes him feel like a man. Support his dreams, even the small ones. Laugh with him, be present with him, and let him see that he matters to you beyond what he can do for you physically. You do that, And when the time comes for intimacy, it's not just two bodies meeting, it's two souls recognizing each other. And that, my friends, is where the real magic happens. People talk about love like it's all hugs, kisses, and sweet words, but a lot of people forget that for a man, admiration and respect hit just as deep, sometimes even deeper than affection. You can love a man, you can care about him, but if he doesn't feel like you respect him or you admire who he is, that love is going to feel incomplete. It's like giving someone a cake with no sugar. Yeah, it's technically cake, but it's missing the flavor that makes it good. Men are wired to want to feel capable, to feel like they're enough in the eyes of the woman they're with. When a man senses admiration from you, it's like fuel for his confidence. It's not about inflating his ego just to make him feel good for a minute. It's about letting him know that you see his effort, you value his contributions, and you believe in what he can do. A man who feels that from you will move mountains just to keep that feeling alive. See, affection is beautiful and it's necessary, the hugs, the kisses, the I love yous. But without respect, those things don't carry the same weight. A man might enjoy the affection in the moment, but if he feels like deep down you don't see him as capable, strong, or worthy, it'll start eating away at him. And most men won't tell you this directly because they've been taught not to talk about needing validation. But the truth is, it matters to them more than they'll admit. Admiration doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or does. It means recognizing his strengths even when he's not perfect. It means letting him know you appreciate his hard work, whether that's at his job, around the house, or in the way he takes care of the people he loves. It's telling him you're proud of him for sticking to his goals, even when the world tries to knock him off course. And here's the thing, you can't fake admiration. Men can sense when it's real and when it's just words with no meaning behind it. Respect works hand in hand with admiration. It's not about putting him on a pedestal, but about treating him in a way that shows you value him as a person. That means listening when he speaks instead of talking over him. It means not belittling his ideas or making fun of his dreams, even if they seem unrealistic at first. It means standing by him in front of others, not tearing him down in public. That kind of loyalty is rare, and when a man finds it, he doesn't forget it. One of the quickest ways to lose a man's heart is to make him feel disrespected. A disrespect doesn't always come in the form of yelling or insults. Sometimes it's the little digs, the constant criticism, or the way you dismiss what matters to him. Those small moments stack up, and over time, they create distance. On the flip side, the quickest way to deepen a man's love for you is to make him feel respected, even in disagreement. You can challenge his ideas without attacking his worth. You can hold him accountable without making him feel small. When a man feels admired and respected, something shifts in him. He becomes more open, more willing to be vulnerable, more motivated to give his best to the relationship. That's because you've created an environment where his masculinity isn't under attack, where he can be himself without fear of judgment. And when a man feels secure like that, the affection you show him doesn't just touch his body, it reaches his soul. Affection without admiration can feel hollow to a man. You might give him all the physical attention in the world, but if he doesn't feel like you see him as capable, valuable, and worthy, he'll still feel something's missing. But admiration combined with affection, that's powerful. That's when a man feels not just loved, but truly cherished. That's when he wants to give you the best version of himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Confidence is one of the most powerful things you can bring into a relationship. And it's not about arrogance or acting like you're better than anyone else. Real confidence is knowing your worth, standing in it, and not shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. For a man, seeing a woman who's confident in who she is can be magnetic because it sends a clear message. She doesn't need validation to know her value, but she's willing to share herself with the right person. When you're confident, you carry yourself differently. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you enter a room, all of it changes. You don't need to announce that you're confident. People feel it before you even say a word. And for a man, being with a woman like that is exciting because he knows she's not looking to him to build her self-esteem from scratch. She's already built it for herself. And that's attractive because it means she's with him by choice, not by necessity. Confidence doesn't mean you think you're perfect. In fact, confident people are the ones who can acknowledge their flaws without letting them define them. You might not have the body you want, the career you dream of, or the bank account you like, but confidence says, I'm still enough right here, right now. That mindset changes how you show up in love. It keeps you from settling for less than you deserve, and it keeps you from losing yourself in someone else's approval. When a man sees that you can stand on your own 2 feet, emotionally, mentally, even financially, it changes the dynamic. You're not clinging to him out of fear of being alone. You're with him because you want to be. And that choice makes the relationship stronger. Men respect women who have their own lives, their own passions, and their own sense of identity. It's not about being independent to the point of shutting him out. It's about having a life that's full even before he came along. So when you two are together, it's a partnership, not a rescue mission. Confidence also affects the way you handle yourself in intimate situations. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you're not constantly worrying about how you look, if your hair's perfect, or whether he's noticing some insecurity you've been carrying for years. Instead, you're present in the moment, and that presence is incredibly attractive. A confident woman can make eye contact, take the lead sometimes, and express what she wants without hesitation. That kind of openness creates a deeper connection because it shows trust and self-assurance. Another thing about confidence, it sets the tone for how other people treat you. If you respect yourself, you naturally draw respect from others. If you carry yourself like someone who deserves kindness, consideration, and effort, the man in your life will be more likely to meet that standard. On the flip side, if you constantly doubt yourself, put yourself down, or accept poor treatment, you're signaling that it's okay for others to treat you the same way. A lot of people think confidence is something you're either born with or you're not, but that's not true. Confidence is built over time through the way you talk to yourself, the choices you make, and the boundaries you set. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you walk away from something that doesn't serve you, every time you push yourself to try something new, you're building that confidence muscle. And the stronger it gets, the more it shows in everything you do. For a man, being with a confident woman is both inspiring and challenging in the best way. She pushes him to bring his best self forward because she's already doing the same. She's not afraid to stand beside him as an equal, and she's not intimidated by his success or his ambition. She celebrates it just like she celebrates her own. That kind of energy is contagious, and it makes the relationship feel alive, balanced, and full of mutual respect. Communication can make or break any relationship. And when it comes to intimacy, it's the difference between something that feels mechanical and something that feels alive. A lot of people think they can just figure it out without ever talking about it, like they can read each other's minds. But here's the truth. Nobody can read your mind, not even the man you've been with for years. If you want something, you have to say it. If you like something, let them know. And if you don't like something, speak up before it becomes a habit you can't stand. Too many relationships lose their spark because people stop talking about what they need. At first, in the honeymoon phase, you might be more vocal, more adventurous, more willing to explore, but as time goes on, some folks fall into routines. And before they know it, the connection feels stale. That's not because the love is gone, it's because the communication is. When you keep that conversation open, you keep the relationship fresh because you're always learning more about each other. Talking about your needs isn't a sign of being demanding, it's a sign of being invested. If you're willing to tell him what works for you, you're giving him the tools to love you better. And the same goes for asking him what he likes. You can't assume that just because something worked for someone else in the past, it's going to work for him. Every person is different, and the only way to know is to ask. The more you understand what lights him up, the more you can create moments that are meaningful for both of you. Now, communication isn't just about the words, it's also about the tone and the timing. You can say the right thing in the wrong way and still miss the mark. If you bring up something sensitive when he's stressed, distracted, or defensive, it might not land the way you hope. The goal is to talk when you're both in a space where you can listen to each other without judgment. That's when honesty can turn into intimacy instead of turning into an argument. It's also important to mix direct communication with nonverbal cues. Sometimes showing what you want can be just as powerful as saying it. A touch, a look, a gesture, these things can speak volumes when words might feel too heavy. The key is to make sure your nonverbal signals match what you're actually feeling. If you're smiling but secretly unhappy, he's not going to know the truth unless you tell him. That's why verbal communication still matters, no matter how good you are at sending signals. Listening is just as important as speaking. When he tells you what he likes or needs, pay attention. Don't brush it off. Don't make jokes at his expense. And don't assume you already know better. Respecting his voice in the relationship makes it easier for him to respect yours. And when both people feel heard, the trust between them grows. That trust is what makes it safe to be vulnerable, to experiment, and to deepen your connection. Some people avoid these conversations because they're scared of rejection or they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. But silence does more damage in the long run than an honest conversation ever could. If something isn't working for you and you never say it, resentment builds. If you have a desire you never share, you miss out on a chance to experience it together. Openness may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's the only way to get to real intimacy. When you talk openly, you remove the guessing game from your relationship. You stop relying on luck and start building something intentional. A man who knows exactly what you like is going to be more confident in loving you, and when he feels that confidence, it reflects back to you. Likewise, when you understand what makes him feel desired and connected, you're able to give him something deeper than just physical affection. You're giving him the feeling of being understood. And when two people understand each other on that level, the bond becomes unshakable. Small gestures have a way of speaking louder than big ones, especially in love. A lot of people think intimacy is all about grand romantic moments, surprise vacations, expensive gifts, over-the-top declarations. Those things can be nice, sure, but what really builds a deep connection over time are the little moments that show someone you're thinking about them when you don't have to be. The small things are what keep love alive in the quiet spaces between the big events. A man might not remember every word you say or every date you've been on, but he will remember the little things you do that make him feel seen. It could be the way you reach over and touch his hand when he's driving. It could be the way you remember exactly how he takes his coffee and hand it to him before he even asks. It might be the note you leave in his lunch bag or the quick kiss you give him on the back of his neck while he's cooking. These moments might seem small, but to him, they're proof that you care in a consistent, effortless way. Small gestures don't have to be complicated. They just have to be sincere. If he's had a long day, running your fingers through his hair while he relaxes on the couch can be more comforting than any elaborate date night. If he's telling you about something he's passionate about, leaning in, making eye contact, and actually listening can mean more than any gift. These little acts build trust, and trust is the foundation for both emotional and physical intimacy. Sometimes people underestimate how much everyday affection matters. A lot of couples put effort into being close in the early days, but as time goes on, they stop doing the small things because they think the big stuff will carry the relationship. But big gestures without daily connection can feel hollow. You can surprise him with the best birthday gift he's ever gotten, but if the rest of the year you're distant, distracted, or disconnected, that one gift won't fix the gap. Small gestures also have a way of breaking down walls. A man might come home tense or distracted from the world outside, but one small, genuine sign of affection can change his whole mood. It tells him, this is your safe space. You can exhale here, whether it's a smile across the room, a warm hug when he walks in the door, or your hand resting gently on his knee during a conversation. Those subtle touches are reminders that you're connected, that you're in tune with each other, even in the middle of life's noise. Another thing about small gestures, they often happen when no one else is watching. That's what makes them so powerful. Public displays of love can be nice, but private displays, that's where the real bond grows. When you do something thoughtful just for him, not for an audience, it speaks directly to his heart. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about reinforcing that you value the relationship in its everyday form, not just on special occasions. Small gestures also keep the spark alive because they create a steady stream of positivity. Instead of waiting for a vacation, an anniversary, or a big date to connect, you're building tiny moments every single day that remind both of you why you're together. And when those small moments pile up, they create a love that feels secure and alive. No matter how many years pass, men might not always say it,